The crash site smoldered in the field, hidden behind a thick group of trees that kept it out of sight from the nearby highway. Among the twisted metal and strange parts lay Rhea, her pearl-like skin now dirty and dull from hunger. Her people, the Lumi, weren't made for hard times. Their homeworld of Luminara had known peace for thousands of years until the collective came. Rhea pulled herself from the wreck. Her four-fingered hands shook as she looked around at this strange new planet. Earth's gravity was stronger than what she knew, making every step hard work. The air had more oxygen than she was used to, making her dizzy. Worst of all, she had no idea what food on this planet was safe for her to eat. 3 days passed, and Rhea grew weaker. Her once bright golden eyes had faded to a pale amber. The glowing patterns under her skin flickered on and off like a dying light bulb. Hunger drove her forward until she found herself at the edge of a small garden. The smell of growing things pulled her toward it like a magnet. Jinwoo Park was 73 years old. He had been an engineer before he retired. His wife had died 8 years ago, leaving him alone. He liked his quiet life in the small farmhouse at the end of a dirt road, far from other people. That night, Jinwoo sat on his porch, looking up at the stars. A noise from his vegetable garden caught his attention. He picked up his flashlight and pointed it toward the sound. He thought he might see a deer or maybe a raccoon. Instead, the light showed him something he could never have imagined. A creature that looked like it stepped out of a science fiction movie stood there, holding one of his carrots in shaking hands. Rhea froze when the light hit her. She had hoped to find food without being seen. Now this earth creature had found her. She was too weak to run. All she could do was stand there, clutching the orange plant thing she had pulled from the ground. Jinwoo didn't move either. His mind tried to make sense of what he was seeing. The being before him looked partly human, but also very alien. Its skin had a soft glow to it. Its eyes were large and golden. It had only 4 fingers on each hand, and it looked afraid. "It's okay," Jinwoo said softly, though he knew the creature wouldn't understand his words. He slowly lowered his flashlight so it wouldn't shine directly in those strange golden eyes. Rhea watched the earth creature carefully. It made sounds she didn't understand, but it had lowered the bright light, which seemed like a kind act. She was so hungry that she took a small bite of the orange plant, then quickly spat it out. Whatever this food was, her body couldn't handle it. Jinwoo saw the creature try to eat the carrot and then spit it out. "You're hungry, aren't you?" he said. He pointed to himself. "Jinwoo." Then he pointed to his house. Food. Different food. Rhea didn't understand the sounds, but she understood the gestures. This creature was offering something. Possibly food. She was too weak and desperate to refuse. With careful, slow steps, she followed the earth being toward the square structure nearby. The old man moved slowly and kept his distance, which helped Rhea feel less afraid. Inside the square structure, there was warmth and many strange objects. The earth creature went to a large box, opened it, and took out several items. Jinwoo set small amounts of different foods on plates. Rice, fruit, vegetables, meat, bread. He placed them on the table and stepped back, giving the alien space. Rhea approached carefully. She sniffed each item before trying a tiny taste. The white grain made her stomach feel good. The sweet round fruits were also fine, but the animal flesh made her gag, and the green plants burned her mouth. Rice and apples. Then, Jinwoo said, nodding. He put more rice in a bowl and sliced another apple. He set them down and backed away again. For the first time in days, Rhea felt hope. This earth creature wasn't trying to hurt her. It was helping her. As she ate the safe foods, the patterns under her skin glowed a bit brighter. Her hands stopped shaking. Jinwoo watched in wonder as the alien ate. The glowing patterns on its skin seemed to grow stronger. He had been alone for so long. His quiet life had become empty after his wife died. Now suddenly, his home held the most amazing visitor in human history. "You can stay here," he said, knowing the words meant nothing to her yet. "It's safe." Raya didn't know the sounds, but she felt the kindness behind them. She was still in danger on this strange planet. Her ship was destroyed. Her people were far away, fighting for their lives against the collective. But here, in this small warm place, with this gentle earth creature, she had found a moment of safety. Outside, the night grew darker. Stars shone down on the small farmhouse at the end of the dirt road. Inside, an old man and an alien girl from across the galaxy shared their first meal together. Neither knew what would come next, but something important had begun. "Well now," Jinwoo said softly, keeping his distance from the strange visitor. "You're a long way from home, aren't you?" Raya hissed at the sound of his voice. Her golden pupils shrank to thin slits in the bright flashlight beam. The carrot she had been holding dropped from her four-fingered hands to the ground. Jinwoo carefully set his flashlight down so it wasn't pointing directly at her. He bent down slowly and picked up the fallen carrot. "It's okay. Here." He held it out toward her, then made a show of pretending to eat it. "Food." Raya watched him closely. This earth creature seemed to be offering the orange plant back to her, but her first taste had told her she couldn't eat it. Still, the gesture seemed kind. She stayed where she was, not moving closer but not running away either. Jinwoo could see that the alien was still afraid, but also very hungry. He pointed to his house again. More food inside. Different kinds. Slowly, with many pauses, Jinwoo led Raya to his kitchen. Each time she stopped, he would stop too. He never rushed her or made sudden moves. When they finally reached the kitchen, he began taking out different foods. First, he tried giving her some cooked meat. Raya smelled it and turned away quickly. Next, he offered bread. She took a tiny bite and quickly spat it out. Vegetables didn't work either, but when he offered white rice, she ate a small amount and waited. Her body didn't reject it. "You can eat rice." "Good," Jinwoo said with a smile. He tried other foods. Most made Raya sick, but they discovered she could eat honey, apples, pears, and a few other fruits, and she loved rice. Jinwoo watched in wonder as she ate a bowl of rice with her strange hands. She had only 4 fingers on each hand, but she used them with great skill. The glowing patterns under her skin grew brighter as she ate, which Jinwoo guessed meant she was feeling better. Trying to talk was hard. Raya didn't understand any Earth languages, and Jinwoo certainly didn't know hers. When he spoke, she would tilt her head and sometimes make musical sounds in return. Jinwoo pointed to himself. "Jinwoo." He said it several times. After watching him, Raya pointed to herself and made a sound that was something like Raya. "Raya," Jinwoo repeated, smiling. "Nice to meet you, Raya." That first night, after eating, Raya wouldn't stay in the house. She ran back outside into the darkness. Jinwoo worried about her, but he understood her fear. He left some rice and fruit on his back porch, then went to bed. In the morning, the food was gone. Each night for the next week, Jinwoo would leave food on the porch. Each night, when he was inside and away from the windows, Raya would come to eat it. Sometimes he would peek through the curtains and see her sitting there, her skin glowing softly in the dark. During the day, he began to catch glimpses of her watching his house from the edge of the woods. She was studying him, he realized, trying to decide if he was safe. Jinwoo worked in his garden each day. He would talk out loud, telling stories about his life, even though he knew Raya couldn't understand the words. But maybe his calm voice would help her feel less afraid. "My wife, Suman, planted these tomatoes," he said one day as he worked. "She had a way with plants. Not like me. I'm an engineer. I fix things that break, or I used to before I retired." From her hiding place at the edge of the trees, Raya listened to the sounds of his voice. The words meant nothing to her, but the tone was gentle and steady. On the 6th day, it rained all afternoon. Jinwoo worried about Raya getting wet and cold. That evening, he walked out to his small barn. He swept it clean, put fresh hay in one corner, and set up a lantern that gave soft light. He left rice, honey, and fruit on a plate, then opened the barn door wide. "If you need a dry place tonight," he called out to the woods, "you're welcome here." That night, rain fell harder than before. Wind blew it sideways, and thunder boomed overhead. Jinwoo looked out his window toward the barn. He couldn't see if Raya had gone inside or not. In the morning, the storm had passed. Jinwoo put on his boots and walked out to check the barn. Pushing the door open gently, he looked inside. There, curled up on the pile of hay, was Raya. She had eaten all the food. The lantern still burned low. When she heard him enter, she sat up quickly, her golden eyes watching him. "Good morning," Jinwoo said softly. Raya didn't run. Instead, she made a small musical sound in return. Jinwoo smiled and set down the fresh food he had brought. "I'll leave you to eat." As he turned to go, Raya made another sound. When he looked back, she was holding out one of the apples he had just brought, offering it to him. Jinwoo felt a warmth in his chest he hadn't felt in years. He walked back and sat down on a bale of hay, keeping some distance between them. He took the apple and bit into it. Raya took another and did the same. They ate together in silence, alien and human, sharing their first meal side by side. It was a small thing, but to Jinwoo, it felt like the most important moment of trust in his life. Outside, the sun dried the wet world after the storm. Inside the barn, a new kind of understanding was growing between two beings from different worlds. In the days that followed, Jinwoo remembered something important. In the attic of his small farmhouse were boxes of his late wife's belongings. Suman had been a language teacher at the local school before she got sick. Her teaching materials might help him communicate with Raya. One morning, Jinwoo climbed the narrow stairs to the attic. Dust danced in the beams of light coming through the small window. He hadn't been up here in years. It hurt too much to see Suman's things. But now he had a purpose. He found the boxes marked school and carried them down. Inside were picture books, flashcards, and notebooks filled with Suman's neat writing. There were also children's drawing supplies, colored pencils, markers, and blank paper. Raya watched curiously from the doorway of the living room. She had started spending more time in the house, though she still slept in the barn at night. "My wife was a teacher," Jinwoo explained, even though he knew Raya couldn't understand his words yet. "She taught children how to speak English. Maybe her books can help us talk to each other." He spread the materials on the kitchen table and motioned for Raya to join him. She came closer, her golden eyes looking at the colorful books with interest. Jinwoo began with simple pictures. He drew a house, then pointed to the farmhouse they were in. "House," he said clearly. Raya studied the drawing, then repeated, "House." Her voice had a musical quality that made even simple words sound like part of a song. Jinwoo smiled and nodded. He drew a tree next. "Tree. Tlee," Raya echoed. Day after day, they sat at the kitchen table working on words. Jinwoo would draw pictures or show ones from Suman's books. Raya learned quickly. Soon she could name many objects around the house and farm. They created their own picture dictionary in a blank notebook. Jinwoo would draw something and write the English word. Raya would make strange marks next to it, writing in her own language, Jinwoo guessed. After 2 weeks, Raya could say simple sentences. "I eat rice. Sky is blue. Jinwoo is kind." One night, as they sat on the porch looking at the stars, Raya pointed to a distant part of the sky. "Home," she said clearly. It was her first English word that Jinwoo hadn't directly taught her. Jinwoo looked where she was pointing. "Your planet is there." Raya nodded. Then she made a violent gesture with her hands like an explosion. She drew her finger across her throat. Her skin flickered with red pulses. "War," Jinwoo said quietly. "Your home has war." "War," Raya repeated, the word sounding sad in her musical voice. "Bad people come. The collective. They want to take our world." Jinwoo nodded grimly. I understand war. I was in one long ago. As the weeks passed, Raya's health improved greatly. The glowing patterns under her skin became bright and regular. Jinwoo noticed that they changed color with her moods: yellow when she was happy, blue when sad, purple when curious. Her English got better every day. Through their growing list of words, Raya told Jinwoo about her world, Luminara, and her people, the Lumi. She explained how the collective, a race of hive-mind beings, had attacked without warning. They want our light, she said, touching her glowing skin. Lumi have special energy. Collective want to take it. So you escaped in a ship? Jinwoo asked. Raya nodded. Many small ships. Emergency pods. My family. Her skin pulsed deep blue. Not know if alive. Jinwoo's heart ached for her. To be so far from home, not knowing if her loved ones were even alive. One evening in late summer, they sat on the porch swing as the sun set. Jinwoo had brought out an old photo album. He wanted Raya to understand his life, just as he was learning about hers. This was my wife, he said, pointing to a photo of a smiling woman with kind eyes. Suman. She was a teacher. Pretty, Raya said, touching the photo gently. Yes, she was pretty, and smart, and kind. Jinwoo's voice grew soft. She died 8 years ago. Sick. Cancer. Raya looked at him with understanding in her golden eyes. Gone now, she said. Yes. Gone now. Jinwoo turned the page and pointed to another photo. This one showed a young man in a university cap and gown. My son. Taehyun. Son, Raya repeated. Like baby but grown. Jinwoo nodded. Yes. My child. But he's gone too. Car accident. 5 years ago. The light patterns under Raya's skin pulsed deep blue, the color of sadness. She understood loss, even across the gulf of different worlds. Her slender four-fingered hand reached out to touch the photo of Taehyun. Then, gently, she placed her hand on top of Jinwoo's weathered one. They sat in silence as the sun disappeared and stars began to appear. Two beings from different planets, united by the universal language of loss and comfort. I alum too, Raya said finally, her musical voice soft in the evening air. We both alone. Now we have. She searched for the right word. Friend. Jinwoo felt tears in his eyes. After years of empty silence in this house, after losing everyone he loved, the universe had sent him this extraordinary companion. Yes, he said, his voice rough with emotion. Friends, maybe even family now. Raya's skin glowed warm yellow. Happiness. She looked up at the night sky where her home star was just becoming visible. Family, she repeated. The words sounded like music. The knock on the door came early in the morning. Jinwoo was making rice for breakfast when he heard it. Raya was sitting at the kitchen table, drawing pictures of her homeworld to show him. Hide, Jinwoo said quickly. Raya had learned this word well in their language lessons. She slipped into the pantry just as Jinwoo opened the front door. Officer Do-yeon stood on the porch. He was young and looked uncomfortable in his uniform. Good morning, Mr. Park, he said with a small bow. What brings you out here so early? Jinwoo asked. He kept his face calm even though his heart was beating fast. There's a situation, Mr. Park, Officer Do-yeon said, standing stiffly. People are talking about lights in the sky last month. Strange sounds from your property. A person who doesn't look normal. Jinwoo raised his eyebrows. People talk too much in this town. Maybe so, Officer Do-yeon agreed. But my boss asked me to check it out. Have you seen anything unusual lately? Jinwoo shook his head. Just an old man living alone. Nothing to see here. Officer Do-yeon looked past Jinwoo into the house. Mind if I come in and look around? I do mind, Jinwoo said firmly. Come back with a proper paper that says you can search my home. Until then, good day. He closed the door gently but firmly. When the police car had driven away, Raya came out of hiding. Bad? She asked, her skin pulsing with nervous orange light. Not good, Jinwoo said. We need a better hiding place. That afternoon, Jinwoo worked hard in the barn. Years ago, he had built a small cellar under the wooden floor to store vegetables. Now he cleared it out and made it bigger. He added a mattress, blankets, food, water, and a battery lamp. If bad people come, he explained to Raya, you hide here. I will cover the door with hay. They won't find you. Raya nodded, her golden eyes serious. She understood danger. That night, Jinwoo couldn't sleep. He kept getting up to look out the window. Just after midnight, he saw what he feared. Headlights coming down the long dirt road to his farm. Not just one car, but 3. Black cars with no markings. He ran to the barn where Raya slept. Wake up, he whispered. They're coming. Raya was instantly alert. Jinwoo led her to the cellar under the floor. Stay quiet, he whispered as she climbed down. I protect you. Raya's hand touched his face briefly. Be careful, she said in her musical voice. Then she was hidden, and Jinwoo spread hay over the trapdoor. He had just reached his front porch when the cars stopped in his yard. 6 men in dark suits got out. One of them approached Jinwoo. Mr. Park, I'm Agent Kim from the National Intelligence Service. Jinwoo nodded. It's very late, Agent Kim. I apologize for the hour, Agent Kim said. He was polite, but there was steel in his voice. We have urgent business. Mr. Park, we have satellite images of a crash. We know something came down near your property. This is a matter of national security. I fought in Vietnam for this country, Jinwoo replied calmly. I know about security. I also know about humanity. Sometimes, they're not the same thing. Agent Kim's eyes narrowed. We'll need to search your property. Do you have a paper giving you permission to search? Jinwoo asked. Agent Kim handed over an official document. Jinwoo looked at it carefully. It was signed by a judge and gave them full rights to search his land. Fine, Jinwoo said, but I'm an old man who needs his sleep. I'm going back to bed. Search all you want. He went inside, but he didn't sleep. He lay in bed listening to the men searching his house. They opened every cupboard, looked under every bed, checked every closet. They were thorough but not destructive. In the morning, they were still there, now searching the fields and woods around his house. Jinwoo made himself breakfast and watched them from his window. They hadn't found the barn cellar yet. For 3 days, the agents searched his property. They set up equipment that beeped and flashed. They took samples of soil and plants. They asked Jinwoo many questions about the night of the crash. I saw some lights, he admitted. I thought it was a meteor. For 3 days, Raya remained hidden in the dark cellar. Jinwoo couldn't risk bringing her food during the day. At night, when the agents went back to their cars to sleep, he would sneak out to check on her. On the 4th day, disaster struck. One of the agents was in the barn with a device that made loud beeping sounds. Suddenly, the beeping got very fast. Sir, the agent called to Agent Kim. I'm picking up strange energy readings from this spot. Jinwoo, who had been watching from the door, felt his heart sink as the agents gathered around the hay covering the trapdoor. Move the hay, Agent Kim ordered. The agents cleared away the hay and found the trapdoor. One of them pulled it open, guns suddenly in their hands. Below, curled in the corner of the cellar, was Raya. Her skin was glowing bright red with fear. My God, one of the agents whispered. Before they could react, Jinwoo pushed through them and climbed down into the cellar. He stood in front of Raya, his arms spread wide to protect her. Don't you dare hurt her, he said firmly. Step aside, Mr. Park, Agent Kim said, his gun pointed at the floor but ready. That's an alien life form. She's a refugee, Jinwoo corrected him. Not a threat. Not a science experiment. A person. A person from another planet, Agent Kim said. Yes, Jinwoo agreed. A person who needed help, just like any person. I gave her food when she was starving. I gave her shelter when she was lost. That's what humans should do for each other. Rhea stood up slowly behind Jinwoo. Her golden eyes looked at the agents with fear, but also dignity. She had learned enough English to understand what was happening. I am Rhea, she said in her musical voice. I come in peace, home destroyed by war. Please, do not hurt. The agents stared, stunned to hear the alien speak. Agent Kim lowered his gun slightly. Mr. Park, he said, you need to understand. This is bigger than you or me. The government needs to study this. Rhea. Study, yes, Jinwoo said. Not lock up. Not cut open. Not treat like an animal. She stays with me. That's not negotiable. The next week was very hard for Jinwoo and Rhea. The government agents took them both to a special building in Seoul. They were not allowed to leave. Many different people came to look at Rhea and ask her questions. Some were doctors who wanted to check her health. Others were scientists who wanted to know about her planet and her people. And some were military men who wanted to know if more aliens were coming. Through it all, Jinwoo refused to leave Rhea's side. I am her family now, he told them firmly. Where she goes, I go. On the third day, a new person came to see them. She was a woman in her 40s with kind eyes and a serious face. Her name was Dr. Minji Lee from the Korean Aerospace Research Institute. I've read all the reports about Rhea, she told Jinwoo as they sat in the small room where they were being kept. But I want to hear from you. Tell me how you found her. Jinwoo told Dr. Lee everything. Finding Rhea in his garden, teaching her to speak, learning about her world. As he spoke, Dr. Lee watched Rhea with growing interest. May I speak with Rhea alone? She asked. Jinwoo looked at Rhea, who nodded. It's okay, Rhea said. Her English was much better now. Dr. Lee spent 2 hours talking with Rhea. When she came out, her face was different, excited and determined. Mr. Park, she said, I'm going to help you both. Dr. Lee became their champion. She went to her bosses at the Aerospace Institute. She spoke to government officials. She argued that Rhea should not be treated like a prisoner or a test subject. The diplomatic and scientific value of peaceful first contact far outweighs the military intelligence we might gain through detention, she told a special committee of important people. Besides, Mr. Park has become her guardian. Separating them would be both inhumane and counterproductive. Not everyone agreed with Dr. Lee. Some people were afraid of Rhea. Others wanted to study her in a lab. One general even suggested she might be a spy from her planet. But Dr. Lee kept fighting. She brought in experts who talked to Rhea and confirmed she was telling the truth about her world and the war there. She showed how Rhea had learned Earth languages and customs quickly, proving she wanted to adapt to her new home. Most importantly, she showed videos of Rhea and Jinwoo together, eating meals, working in the garden, looking at the stars. Anyone could see they had become a family. After a month, the committee made their decision. Rhea would be allowed to live with Jinwoo on his farm. Scientists could visit to learn from her, but she would not be kept in a lab. She would be given special papers making her legally allowed to stay on Earth, the first alien refugee in human history. There were conditions, of course. Rhea had to wear a special bracelet that showed where she was at all times. Jinwoo's farm would have security cameras, and once a month, they would have to come to Seoul for checkups and interviews. It's not perfect, Dr. Lee told them as she drove them back to the farm. But it's a start. Give people time to get used to the idea of aliens living among us. 6 months passed. Slowly, life settled into a new normal. Scientists and officials still visited the farm, but less often now. The local people, after initial fear and excitement, began to accept Rhea as just another neighbor, a strange-looking one, but a neighbor all the same. Rhea's language skills grew quickly. She now spoke Korean as well as English. She learned to cook meals she could eat, taking traditional Korean dishes and changing them in ways that matched the foods from her home world. Some of her creations were so good that Jinwoo requested them often, especially her sweet rice cakes with honey and fruit. Jinwoo taught Rhea everything he knew about living on Earth: how to plant seeds in the garden, how to fish in the stream behind the house, how to fix things when they broke. Rhea was a fast learner. In return, Rhea taught Jinwoo about her world. She showed him how to write in her language, beautiful, flowing symbols that glowed faintly when she wrote them. She sang songs from Luminara, haunting melodies that made Jinwoo's old heart ache with their beauty. 1 year after Rhea's crash landing, Dr. Lee brought important news. The government had officially recognized Rhea as a legal resident of Earth. She was no longer required to wear the tracking bracelet. "You're free now," Jinwoo told her that night. Rhea tilted her head. "Free to do what?" "To go anywhere. To live anywhere you want." Rhea looked around the small farmhouse, at the kitchen where they cooked together, at the table where they had first learned to talk to each other, at the porch where they watched the stars each night. "I want to stay here," she said simply. "This is home now." Jinwoo felt his eyes fill with tears. After losing his wife and son, he had thought he would spend his last years alone. Now he had a family again, the most unexpected family in the history of Earth. On warm summer evenings, they would sit together on the porch swing that Jinwoo had built. Rhea would point to a faint star in the eastern sky. "Luminara," she would say, her golden eyes reflecting starlight. "First home." "And here," Jinwoo would reply, patting the wooden boards beneath them. "Earth. New home." Rhea's skin would pulse with warm yellow light, the color of happiness. "Family," she would say, taking Jinwoo's weathered hand in her four-fingered one. The word no longer sounded foreign on her tongue. Some nights, they would see a shooting star and make wishes. Jinwoo always wished for the same thing: that Rhea would be happy here on Earth for many years to come. Rhea never told what she wished for, but sometimes, when she thought Jinwoo wasn't looking, she would touch her special bracelet, the one Dr. Lee had given her that could send signals to space. Maybe someday other Lumi might find their way to Earth. Maybe someday she would know if her first family had survived. But until then, she had Jinwoo. She had a home. She had safety. And that was enough. As the stars turned slowly in the night sky, the old man and the alien girl sat together on their porch, two beings from different worlds who had found family in each other.